Hey guys, I'm Lottie. I'm 20 years young, and I'm thinking about getting plastic surgery already. That statement tends to bring up many different kinds of expressions. So put an emoji in the comments and let me know how it makes you feel. But I also hope you hang out and listen to my story because I have a pretty important message for everyone. So, I haven't had my surgery yet. See, I wanted to test something out first. This all started when I was still single and looking for a boyfriend. This one troll made a super gross comment about me online and said that I needed to fix my body. At first I was mortified, but then I started to look around at girls online, and I noticed they looked different than me. I guess I let the comment get me down, and I started reading articles about body shapes and all that stuff. It wasn't long before I was getting ads about plastic surgery, and I thought maybe the universe was trying to tell me something. The more obsessed I got over it, the more I started to see it around me. Women's bodies were in display online and IRL. I couldn't drive past a billboard or turn on the TV without seeing it, and I grew to become incredibly self-conscious. When I asked what I could gain from going through with my plastic surgery plans, most people said that I could become more popular and successful, but I had my doubts. Maybe I didn't want to believe that the world was so superficial, or that I was so superficial. I was daydreaming in my photo design class, and I got the idea to Photoshop my own pictures and change my body the way I wanted it, and see what kind of effect it had on my social life. I spent hours at night in my apartment changing my pictures. I thought I looked good, and soon I had a whole gallery of photos of the new me with my new body, and I started posting them online on my various accounts. Soon, notifications were flooding in, and I couldn't believe what a difference it made. I appreciated the attention and started to feel better about myself. I found myself spending more and more time online, but I'd get disappointed when I'd look in the mirror. I was used to seeing myself online, and I felt like a less attractive version of myself. But I was having fun with my new popularity, and I kinda gained an online boyfriend. His name was Kent, and he lived a few towns over from the college I went to. We talked online all the time, and it was easy to keep things focused on my face when we'd chat. Kent was cool and kind, and we had the best conversations. He was an artist and a poet, and his philosophy was that every discarded piece of trash was a masterpiece in the work. He would write poetry on the backs of milk cartons, or use tree bark as a canvas for a painting. He believed that inspiration was all around us. We just had to look closely. He was a blast to talk to, but it wasn't long before Kent wanted to meet up. And I did too, more than anything. But I was worried about what he'd say when my body looked different. I didn't mean to catfish him or anything, I just wanted to conduct a social experiment. But when we met up for the first time, Kent didn't say anything. I wasn't sure what was going on. I had been worrying about it the whole week leading up to our big date. I had nightmares about Kent saying exactly what that troll wrote about me that started this whole body insecurity thing. But he didn't say one word about it. How could he have not noticed, though? Maybe he was just being a gentleman, or maybe he was planning to dump me, but he didn't. He said he had a great time, and our dates started to become a regular thing. Most weekends he'd come down to see me, or I'd drive over to his neck of the woods. Since Kent never said anything about the differences between my online body and my body in real life, I figured I'd take down all the Photoshop pics of myself online and replace them with the originals. But then the comments really started coming in, and they were getting ruder and ruder. They messed with my head, and I started to hate the mirror. But it got worse one night when Kent came to visit. He took me to an art show and dinner, and we had a smashing good time. But when he left, I found something that disturbed me. It was a plastic surgery flyer on the coffee table. I couldn't believe it. Not only was the universe trying to tell me something, my own boyfriend was trying to tell me something. I wanted to be mad at him, but maybe the universe was right. Maybe I did need plastic surgery. I saw what it did for my online life, and I started to think, that's what I needed too. I looked up plastic surgery places online and found a doctor to consult with. This doctor reminded me of an aging Barbie doll. She had plastic everything, nose, lips, cheeks, you name it, she had it. And she kept telling me how pretty I was going to look after she worked on me. I had to save up for the surgery, so I worked as many extra shifts as I could get at the restaurant. And by winter, I had enough to buy myself a new body for Christmas. Meanwhile, Kent and I were getting closer, even if we didn't see each other as often as we'd like. I thought we had a real future together, and I couldn't wait to surprise him after my surgery. There was a time I was afraid of changing my body, but by the time the day of the surgery came, I couldn't have been more excited. I was finally going to look the way I had always wanted, and I wasn't ever going to have to worry about being less than perfect. But something happened while I was waiting in the surgery room. I heard a crash and a few ladies scream, and I looked out the room to see this crazy old-timer storming down the halls. The doctors were telling him he was lost and his treatment center was next door. But this senile geezer wouldn't listen to anybody, and before I knew it, he pushed himself in my room and locked the door behind him. When he saw me, he screamed and he asked what I was doing here. I guess I wasn't as intimidating as the doctors because he believed me when I told him that I was a patient and he was in my room. After that, he got quiet and kinda sad. He said his mind wasn't what it used to be and he wished he had a different body. I told him I could relate and that I was here to change my body too. I said I was getting plastic surgery and he made some vomit noise and said, "Yuck, don't do that." Before the doctors found a key and got in, that old guy told me something I'll never forget. He said that nature knows best and to always stick with nature. See, in nature, he said, nothing is perfect and everything is perfect. Just like you. About that time, the administrators opened the door and that old cook was hollering at them for designing a health facility that looked like a labyrinth. I wonder to this day if that crazy old dude was some sort of guardian angel because he changed my heart and mind. When the plastic surgeon came back, I wanted out. "I can't do it," I said. She tried to convince me that it was just cold feet, but it wasn't. I don't know how I let myself become so insecure. I may not look like every other girl on the internet, but so what? Maybe that's not such a bad thing. I walked away from the operation and decided that plastic surgery wasn't for me. The more I thought about it, the more angry I became. I thought about that troll twerp online and I wrote him back and told him off. I was perfect just the way I was, and if Kent couldn't handle that, then I guess he couldn't handle me. I stewed and stormed around my apartment, practicing telling him off. How dare you leave a plastic surgery flyer at my place? How dare you judge my body? I even rehearsed breaking up with him. But Kent surprised me after work one day with flowers. It threw me off guard. But he couldn't just bring me flowers and make it okay. He couldn't smooth talk his way through this one, and I started to tell him off. But it didn't go as planned. When I mentioned the flyer, he acted like he didn't know what I was talking about. "This one," I said, shoving it in his face like I was revealing evidence in the courtroom or something. "How dare you suggest plastic surgery? Who do you think you are?" "On the back," he said. "Look closely." I turned it over and immediately melted. I couldn't believe I never noticed it before. My name was written among roses, and there was an address. I asked what he was up to, and he just smiled, and he said he'd been waiting for me to find my surprise. He took me to the address on the drawing, and it was an empty apartment. And there, on the wall, larger than life, was a mural dedicated to me. Kent got the place to move closer to me, and I was completely stunned. "But what about the flower?" I asked. "You weren't trying to suggest plastic surgery?" "Of course not," Kent said. He said that he found fake bodies and fake people to be a turnoff. And he went on to tell me that I was perfect just the way I was. That brings me to this important lesson that's for anybody who's ever wished for a different body. Whether you're dealing with a real-life troll trying to put you down or it's the insecurity in your head that's keeping you up at night, always remember that beauty is only skin deep. The superficial things of life are only that, superficial. If you want something real and genuine in this world, you can't be fake. And if you want to keep it real, you've got to accept that you, like nature, are perfectly imperfect. Are you insecure about your looks? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.